Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the Thought Engine Labs podcast again after nearly 8 months. Our last podcast was in July 2025 and it's 2026 already. We are in the beginning of April and yeah, we have decided let's give a comeback. We keep giving comebacks every 2, 3, 2, 3 months. This time it was a longer time. Yogesh is here as usual. He is happy to be here, I hope, after so long. Um, Everyone had a lot of changes in our lives with AI coming in and occupying everything and anything. Yeah, we predicted it. I gotta say that we predicted it, and now it's happening a lot faster than we thought it would. Uh, so, how do you feel, Yogesh?
Yeah, it's good. So firstly, hello everyone. It's been long that we haven't been regular, but we are trying to be regular. But then there's always something happening in lives, and then we are deviating. But yeah, we'll try to stay consistent. We'll see. But then yeah, as Ashwin was saying, it's it's like many of the predictions that were done during the previous years. Um, it hasn't like completely reached to that point. Like not 100% of all the predictions have been done, but majority of all the predictions are or we can see that it's possible to reach. Though we are reaching towards them very slowly, but it's we clearly know that we are going towards those predictions. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of predictions, I think it was Yogesh who told in one of our episodes that the new programming language is going to be English or your, of French or German or Hindi, Tamil, a lot of different languages out there, and that is going to be the new programming language, and that has come true so so quickly. Um, uh,
Yeah, but
and that's the topic for today.
I cannot take it to myself, but one of the industry leaders told that English will be the next programming language. Yeah, I just took
Right?
it from him. Yeah.
Fair, fair. So yeah, that's the topic for today as well. It is vibe coding. So I think everyone knows how vibe coding has changed the whole IT infrastructure. It has overturned the way we look at development, we look at softwares, and we look at SDLC on the whole. So SDLC, for those who don't know, is software development life cycles, and we have always had these traditional methods. So it started with like full-fledged traditional method, and then you had waterfall models, which was developing and then testing, developing, testing, and then we went to agile and scrum and kanban boards, in which development and testing were happening together, and now developers are testing themselves. So it's the AI that's
Developers are
developing and the developers are testing it.
developers testing.
uh, yeah, yeah. So it's become it's a new day, it's a new world, and I am excited to be a part of it. I am excited to do things with vibe coding. I'm excited to create apps, and that is what we'll be talking about today. Um, so yeah, Yogesh, what did you try out vibe coding so far? Have you built anything? How easy was it?
Yeah, vibe coding, if you remember in our initial podcast, I was talking about how is AI helping me to generate the code in one of the hackathons that I participated. I was explaining, okay, I put a code and then it was responding to me. This was after just one year or 1.5 years of looking at that podcast, I'm like, it feels too naive and too like it happened in like very long number of years ago or something like that, right? But if you see, it's just 1 year or something that I was doing it like that. But right now, we back then when I was doing that, there was only one or two private organizations that was doing this. kind of vibe coding and stuff, which was
Hmm.
like not open to everyone. But today, there's a lot of open source tools. There's a lot of private tools also, like from the private firms. They have tools, but you can just pay and use all of those things, right? Yeah, the transition is like within a year, it's like very huge. I would say like this two layers, which was not two layers, the three layers that have been changing in this. Before I would go into the tools, because each layer has different tools and different technologies that has been done. The bottom layer is the model. Model has been constantly evolving, right? So what happened was mm, they added thinking into the model, and they added a lot of new methodologies in which the model work, right? The reasoning part of it. So there's a lot of those contextual aspects and all of those improvements that happened at the model layer. And at the next layer is the wrappers that we have, the agents that work with these models. A lot of agentic thing happened in the past 2 years or 1.5 years or something. A lot of agents, like so many different agents, so many different types of agents. Best, best of the best, which is like which did a major thing throughout the world was OpenClaw as an agent, right? That one, which we don't want to go in deep into it. But then again, on top of those agents is all the IDEs that we have, like the tools that we use, like be it Lovable, Anti-Gravity, Claude Code, terminal-based. There's a lot of terminal-based agentic systems that we can interact with. There's a lot of the normal web-based IDs. You just go to a website and then you can start coding, and not you coding, you're telling the agents
Yeah.
to do the coding. So there's so many things happening at three different layers. Best things, going to the question, best things that I did try was my favorite is anti-gravity because it gives you a lot of free credits. Also,
Yeah.
it gives you options between Claude models and also Google models. Apart from these, I also host my own models. My recent favorite is Gemma 4 from
Hmm.
Google. Gemma 4 is like the best as on today. That's one of the best models, reasoning models. Also good for coding. It's a mixture of experts model. It's good for coding also. That is running completely on my PC, doing the best, giving very good results in terms of working with because you can use Claude Code to not only use the Claude models, but also you can use open source tools,
Hmm.
open source models, and then you can connect to them. So I'm using Claude Code. I'm trying out different ones. Klein, I'm trying out with Klein, um, Claude Code, IDER,
Did you
and
try Cursor?
uh, no, Cursor is one thing
No.
that I've
Okay.
not tried at
Okay.
all. Cursor
Uh, it's
was
it's
like
behind a paywall, right?
yeah, it's behind a paywall. I
Yeah.
didn't try it, but it is one of the first companies that came out with
True.
uh, this
True.
this concept of vibe code. They did not
Vibe
coin
coding.
the word vibe coding, but they were the ones who started were early in this field. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those were the tools I'm trying using as on today. Yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, some of
How
the
about
tools that
you?
you have mentioned,
Go ahead.
yeah. So some of the tools that you have mentioned, um, some of them are like you said, terminal based. Some of them, like for example, now Claude Code has its own UI inside, the Claude app, desktop app, but uh, I still use it on like VS Code or sometimes on the terminal side of things. But then for the common people, like the general people who have ideas but who struggle to find the right development team or the development platform, things have changed in a drastical way. Like when I go to founders meet and things like that, I see a lot of people trying to understand how much would building their MVP cost, or how much would building their website cost, how much time would it take. And it's not easy to, it wasn't easy to determine that and give it to them as an estimate on the spot. You have to go back, look at the requirements, and because everything, generally, when it comes to founders, all the requirements are in their head. Nothing is on paper. It comes on paper only when you start the discovery process and the deep thinking behind the idea, and you do market research and things like that. But even before going into that, there are going to be obstacles when it comes to monetary funding and things, because that is very important for any idea to grow, right? You need money. um, you need money to make money, basically. It's like chicken and egg. You don't know which comes first. But now, with vibe coding, with Lovable coming in, with Replit coming in, it is so much easier to ship websites. So if you take me, I shipped a website in overnight. It took me for just an MVP website. Right? It had maybe 3 pages, 3 to 5 pages website, and it took me 3 hours to do it because I knew what I wanted. And I didn't use just Lovable. I wanted to, the idea behind getting the right output out of tools like Lovable, Replit, and even Claude Code sometimes, is that you try to put your ideas in your terminologies, but it's not always how the AI understands it. The business logic and the functional logic and all those things sometimes do get complicated, and it might not be for a website, but when it comes to a website, the structure might be different than what you're looking for, and you have to give multiple inputs. So what I do is I first talk to an AI, might be Claude or GPT or Gemini, whichever you prefer. Talk to an AI and tell your idea, and then tell that you're going to implement this on Lovable or Claude Code, and ask it to give the prompts, right? At first, it will first explain your idea. It will first give you, and the prompts it gives will be function by functionality, or page by page, or section by section sometimes. And that sort of division of prompts is going to help you in creating the right product in a very, very short span of time. Because your back and forth with the development platform like Lovable is going to reduce drastically. Because even if you have the plan mode nowadays, and it comes in Lovable and Claude Code, everything has plan mode where you write it in your terms, and it plans for it and it showcases your plan. Now we are at a stage where not everyone goes through the plan, and the plan is not always business oriented. Sometimes it's very technical oriented, where it will tell that I will change in super base functions, I'll change something. Now, if I am a non-tech founder or a non-tech person, I am not going to understand what are all these .ts files. I am not going to understand what is package.json and things like that, right? I still, I mean, I don't understand at all, but yeah, that's where you get to first explain your ideas and then let the AI talk to each other, right? It's much more efficient, trust me. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been shipping websites faster. I've been shipping applications, and now in the last couple of weeks, I have also started full-fledged vibe coding using Claude Code. So it's not just me doing the designs and development on Lovable or Replit or Stitch. Stitch is also, I think, a good tool for design, because you can translate it into Figma, and from Figma you can take it into your Claude or your
Cloud
other
coding, code
platforms,
generation. Yeah.
and it's just easier to do it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Stitch, Stitch,
now I've started creating. Yeah,
Stitch. Just Stitch is called the vibe designing. It's called those
yes,
platforms are
yeah.
called vibe design.
Web designers. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, with Claude, I have been trying to build simple applications that connect to, you know, I so I am someone who's aware of databases like PostgreSQL. I've done a little bit of, I've worked in Oracle a little bit,
Mhm.
so Oracle DB, and I know the SQL uh, queries and things like that. So I'm okay with databases. What I have zero idea of is Java, right?
Mhm.
Java, I have maybe coded when probably 15 years ago, right? And I know, I sound very old. I am, but yeah, I haven't touched Java since last 15 years. After that, it's been completely Python for me. And Python was not front-end development; it was more machine learning and predictive analytics and things related to that. Um, so
That's Java for the last 15 years because with whatever AI is doing right now, you don't have to touch it again. Anyway.
yeah, that's true. That's true in a way, isn't it? With AI coding the front end, so it basically did that. It basically coded the whole front end in React. I did one application in React and I did one application in Node. I don't
Mhm.
know the difference between React and Node, but I did it, and I have two applications which are currently, in UAT being tested by for an internal thing. So it's I'm not shipping it to clients or anything right now, but still internally it's a good thing to have. Uh, so yeah,
So
it's drastically
imagine
changing the
doing
game.
yeah, imagine doing that without AI. It requires at least one or two few engineers to even build a prototype and then, get it to testing and then get it to show to a client or even get it
Yeah,
outside, right?
people study
No,
computer science and for 3 years, 4 years. Sometimes they do masters in computer science.
yeah.
Uh, and here I am with no knowledge of front end coding, and I'm building apps. And the thing is, it's a lethal thing when founders try to start doing vibe coding. It's very lethal and it's very effective because generally developers do not have the business knowledge.
Mhm.
That's where there's a BA role in traditional development. There's a BA role. There's a tester role. There's a developer role. But when founders and when business owners or business analysts, people who have the business knowledge will start, they start doing this, that the cost comes down, the time comes down, and the efficiency increases, and you are able to visualize your product much more better than anyone else can for you. Me telling you what my product is, and then you telling another person what it is, and then that person developing and the third person testing that just to figure out that that is not what I asked for at all, right?
Yeah. In information and context loss is happening at each layer of
A
the.
lot, yes, yes. And that's another amazing thing with tools like Claude, where you can create projects and you can provide context within those projects. You can add
Mhm.
files to those projects, and the AI is now aware of context and everything.
Yep.
So I use it for my personal things. I use it for my professional things. It's a game changer. It's a game
Mhm.
changer in efficiency. It is making us lazy, but it is a game changer nonetheless.
Yeah, there's two transitions that I want to take with this conversation, right? One is like the good IDEs that we have right now to for the non not so technical users to to even build products and to build systems or any kind of designs website, be it anything. So then they're using this kind of, as you said, you also use some kind of IDEs or web-based IDEs or something to do it, right? But there's also developers who wants to work as a pair programmer with the AI. Like they're vibe coding like at a very one step below or something like that, right? At terminal levels or something. So me also, I'm very good with working in terminal rather than IDs because I want to have certain amount of control in the type of things that the AI is choosing because I want to tell it what to use and what not to use and what exactly to what kind of technologies. Imagine if I know a kind of tools or open GitHub open repository or a kind of system design that I want to follow. So I keep telling it to, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, and then I keep watching my code and everything. Okay, is it following everything? Is it missing something? So I'm like a co-developer uh, with with that. So I'm more into this terminal-based thing so that I can see all the files that is getting changed, approve each of the file that is getting changed. Sometimes even line to line, I keep checking and approving all of those things. One of the uh, like recent beautiful thing that I saw about this vibe coding was one of the engineer. So recently, many were able to connect their system IDEs to a phone. Basically, you don't have to sit in front of a system to tell your AI what to do. You can just be anywhere and your AI will be telling, okay, I did this. Can you review? You get a notification in your phone, you read it. Ah, okay, this is okay. Go ahead. You just give your S and no permissions. You can be anywhere, and your AI is 24 cross 7 coding in your PC. This happened. So he is running four agents, four coding agents in four different terminals. He divided the features, the system features across these four agents. So now he created his own app with the four terminals in his phone also. So whenever a terminal requires a permission, it gets highlighted the same thing in his phone. He just selects the terminal and then he just speaks to it. He doesn't even type the prompt. He just speaks to these terminals and then it gets translated and then the prompt gets executed by the agents. So there is like the right now there's a point where you don't even need a keyboard to even talk to an AI. You just need to pick up your phone, you just tell it. You can be anywhere outside doing anything, shopping or even playing golf or even playing football or anything. You just pick up your phone, tell your agent what to do, and then it keeps doing its job. It's like hiring an intern to do your stuff, right? So that's the place that we are in. That's
That's
something I
that's
wanted to
that's
branch out
correct.
from conversation, yeah.
No, 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 that's
But
correct.
how
And
is
the th no, the thing is,
yeah.
with the cost coming down and things like that, it does not mean the risks are down, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI generated code will and might have security risks,
Yeah.
which is possible in all sorts of scenarios, especially when you have gated applications that are that need login credentials and OAuth and things like that. There's going to be a lot of security risks that you will have to check and fix. So it's not the it's not always going to help you get a production ready application, but if it is a website or a smaller web app or your MVP where you just need to showcase it to your investors or just have some 10 early onboarding customers, you can easily do it using AI and your MVP cost comes down drastically. You can pay $200 on Claude or and do it in a week, or pay $20 on Claude and do it in a month. That is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the cost nonetheless is still massively less. Um,
Yes.
Again, we have to put a star here, saying that it also depends on the type of MVP and applications you're creating. If it involves integrations, complex integrations, I would not suggest non-tech founders or non-tech people to go with vibe coding. I would probably tell them to first research and figure out if they can get some other development options, because integrations are a complex thing, and especially if you want to create like an agentic architecture, um, and AI integrations and all those things, the chances of success is there, but not not a lot. For now, not a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
vibe coding is developing. Things are getting easier. They are not necessarily getting user friendly, especially when it comes to vibe coding using Claude and things. It's not very user friendly. Um, Whereas Lovable is, but you can't. Lovable just directly gives you an application, and if you notice the structure of the AI code is is not always right. Now, for example, I when I told the agent to create a drop down list for me to fill up a form, right? Now, I was assuming that this drop down list would come from the backend database, but it created a drop down list in the front end side of things. So when I told that I need to add a couple of more options in the drop down, and I gave it a clean cut update query openly because it can just I don't need to use AI for doing an update query, right? I can just update it, and when I opened it, there was no table for the drop down, so it wasn't fetching the values from any table. There was no lookup table for it. Um, so that's when I understood that it's not always the way you imagine it. It is doing it in a superficial way, but which is why it is good for MVP and prototyping, but not for production ready code, not for you shipping $1 million application. That is, we are still a little bit uh, far away from that. If you are a non-technical founder, right? If you're a technical founder, it's a whole different ballgame for you altogether.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? For a very highly technical developer or founder or anywhere at the technical side who understands things, for them, vibe coding is a very good gift because it does most of their work. All they have to do is review and approve and see where it missed to address. And then because the the once the project gets complex and complex, the agents that are coding uh, will not be able to, you know, because the contextual memory is very it's not so huge, and it cannot handle everything at once. And then so imagine there is a feature that needs to be developed in some 100 different files of code. It will definitely miss 5 to 10 files to change
Right.
code in that. If it misses those 10 files, the project will not compile, or even if it compiles, during runtime there will be some place where it will break the complete thing. So this is something is a problem, but then there is different solutions to it. There's many different solutions. The solution is like creating multiple agents addressing different things. So these agents will only focus on certain part of the product and only will develop those things. So, I mean, there's different architectures coming on, different way of orchestration of different agents. Those technologies are also there. There are different companies working on different kinds of concepts for different orchestration, different kinds of agents. And at the model layer, they're trying to increase the context memory as larger and larger and larger as possible. So there is different people at different layers trying to do different technologies so that you can build an entire product with a with a prompt or something which the work is going on right now, which I would agree. And also one more point about the security. You know what happened yesterday or day before yesterday? Claude launched something called as Mythos, Claude Mythos,
Mm-hmm.
which is not launched to public. It's only to some private firms, cloud firms which are running cloud platforms. So this Claude Mythos can detect a security vulnerability, security whatever risks that you have in your systems, equivalent to any top people. They gave this Claude Mythos to one of the top security researcher uh,
Mm-hmm.
to use this system. Like many security researchers were involved in this project while building. So the security researcher said whatever risks that he identified in the last 5 years, he did that in last 1 month or
Wow.
1 week or something. So those many risks he could identify with Claude Mythos in a very short period of time than in his entire last 5 years of career or something, whatever.
Wow.
So this thing is also launched, but it's not for public again. It's only to private firms. Uh, so business to business kind of thing. I think it will be launched to public in no matter some time, but they'll not launch it to public because hackers will use this to understand what kind of thing it is doing, and then they try to reverse engineer it for better thing. But I think there is a lot of other risks of making it public. But then yeah, there's a tool right now to basically you can wipe code a thing and then you can ask Claude Mythos to see what are the security risks it has, and then it will say, okay, there is loopholes here and you have to fix it. And the other agent can, okay, go back and fix your vibe coding agent can actually go and fix those security vulnerabilities, which is possible, like as on today. But yeah, it's not you available for public yet.
Fair. No, that's a good thing. I mean, they are trying to bridge the gaps.
Mhm.
We are nearing the end of the episode. Before we conclude, Yogesh, what is the one application that you would ask people to start using and start learning immediately?
Anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's it's a free tool with a lot of free credits. Just install, guys. It's the most easiest, trustable. Google is always trustable. You always have Google Gmail, G Drive, G Photos. You have all of your data there. So put your code also into Google. So
Nice.
anti-gravity is something there from Google. So a lot of free credits from them. Uh, just try. So you would have thought of building so many different tools from from uh, from long time. Just go sit, just put a prompt, and then go take a coffee, and then it will be done. And then yeah, just watch it doing magic in the IDE. This is for someone who is into, technical side, who understands a bit of code and stuff. This is the suggestion. And I think Ashwin will give a suggestion for someone who's from the non-technical side.
Non-technical, I would say you can use a lot of different tools like Lovable, Base 44.
Mm.
But I would say I think it's time for non-technical people to also start using Claude Code. I know a lot of us are already, giving monthly subscription to tools like OpenAI and other platforms. The only reason I would suggest Claude Code is I'm not receiving any money from them. I wish I was, but I'm not. It's because it's cheaper. It's like £13 in the UK, which is not a lot of money if you're I mean if you compare it with other sources like GPT or Grok or things like that. It's comparatively cheaper, and it becomes like a desktop application as well. And the amount of context you can give it to it just in a chat or in a project, or when you are coding is completely um, it's a lot. It's a lot more than what you can do with other AI agents and other AI platforms. And another thing is with Claude Code, you can if you can try and install your IDEs like VS Code, and even I think it even integrates to Cursor. Or if those are too much for you, you can Claude Code has its own UI where you can chat with it and create code and everything. So it will create the code in your local system. It does not do it in a cloud. So if you use Lovable and all of the platforms that you create in a cloud, you can migrate it to Git. You can connect it to Git and other things and other cloud platforms. But this is where you will get the freedom of having the code in your local, and hosting it in local and trying to test it out and see how it works before you push it to Git and push it to your live environments. So that freedom is very important while developing. Um, and also another thing that I have recently figured out is sometimes when you change the code level, when you make code level changes in applications like Lovable and other things, it does not always recognize it properly, and the changes are not always there. But in this case, it is 100% there because it's in your local and you're making the changes in your local code repository. So that's one big advantage. But otherwise, yeah, if, I would say start with the Lovable interface or the Replit interface. Replit is much more easier than Lovable, is what I've heard. I've not tried it personally, but Replit I've heard is much more easier for non-technical people to build apps and websites.
Yep,
Um,
there
but
is
Lovable
Hero
is a bit
also.
more sophisticated. Yes, and there is
Yeah,
base 44. There's so many now.
yeah, yeah,
It's endless, and you can try out anything and everything that you feel like, and start building applications. And close this podcast and go to your AI and say, "This is my idea. Build that for me," and it'll do everything for you. Right? That's where we are. So,
yeah, yeah,
with that note, I would say, yeah, it was great talking about this, Yogesh, and it's great to restart this again. We keep restarting every couple of months. We should probably be more consistent, but I get how everyone's busy, and um, it's not always easy to keep keep it consistent, in
yeah,
personal
yeah,
life or
yeah.
professional life
At
or
least in
something like this. So,
yeah.
yes,
But we'll try. We'll try one podcast per week. It's I think it's kind of possible because of
we will
the
try.
amount of
We will try. Sorry about the lighting. I have motion sensor lighting, so it's going to be on and off. But next podcast, I am sure I'll not be in a room with motion sensor lighting anymore. uh, so yes, yeah, we have a couple of ideas for the next podcasts, and hopefully we'll be doing it on a weekly basis. So fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin, and
See
thank you,
you guys in
everyone.
the next episode.
Thank you. Let's catch up in the next episode. See you guys.